Okay, so for this one here, when we calculate the total, all the heights of all the people, the total height I'm getting is about 14,751. Okay, so that's the total height. So I'm going to take that total height, that's everyone, like imagine everyone stacked on top of each other. Okay, so, and then divide that by 198 people, and that's going to give us the average height. And the average height we're getting is 74.5. Okay, so the average height of NHL defensemen is 74.5 inches, or that works out to be 6'2.5". Okay. Okay, so how do we do some of these other problems here? So if we don't know some information, we have to kind of think of how can we arrange this information so that we can solve some of these problems. So this says the average heights of the people is 155 centimeters, and the average of the 20 shortest people is 145. And so what's the average height of the other 80 people? Okay, well, one way we can look at this is, if I were to add up or stack 100 people on top of each other, I'm going to get the total height of the whole population. Okay, so I'm going to get 15500 centimeters. That's the total height of the population. So we can split this height, and I'm going to call this total, and we can split this height into the short, call that tot for total. We can have this height for short. Part of it is the shorter group, and part of the sum of heights is from the taller people. Okay, so we actually have the total height of the shorter group. Okay, there are 20 people there, and if the average height is 145, we know that those 20 people, if you add up all their heights, is 2,900 centimeters. Well, that would make the total heights of the tallest people, the 80 tallest people, the total heights of the 80 tallest people represented by 12,600 centimeters. Okay, so what would the average height of these 80 people be? Well, I know that I can find the average of the tall is going to be the sum of the tall divided by the number of tall, which is 80. So if I take that number and divide by 80, I end up with 157.5 centimeters. And then that's going to be a little bit bigger than the average of all 100 because you took out the smallest people. So 157.5 centimeters would be the average of the tallest group. Okay? And again, if we kind of think of this average as the total, all the measurements, okay, divided by the number of people to share those measurements, okay, that's one way to do it. And we can kind of figure out averages that way. Okay, so what if x represents the mode and the median of the following data? What is x? Well, let's just arrange this first of all in order. 10, 16, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh. So it's the mode and median. Well, that tells us a lot here, because then we know it's 17, and then it's got to be x, 20, and 23. Okay, so if we have this as our mode and median, well, the median, the mode is going to be, well, the most frequently occurring. Well, we need to make it the most frequently occurring, and it also needs to be a median. So just by lining up our information, we can see that there's our mode and median. X must be equal to 17 in this problem.